The nurse that I have chosen is Maggie Ramirez. Maggie is the daughter of Maria and Tony Ramirez. She is Hispanic, particularly from Mexico. She enjoys playing soccer and painting during her free time. Maggie graduated from Alverno College in 2010 with her degree in nursing, and shortly after began her work at Aurora St. Luke's Medical Center in 2011. She is currently working in the 8th floor of the Garden Tower, which is the MRICU, also known as the Medical Respiratory Intensive Care Unit. When she first arrived to St. Luke's, she was expecting to work mainly with older patients. And while this is true, she was surprised by the amount of variety within the ages of her patients. They have an every light is your light rule, which means that if a patient's light is on, even though it is not your patient, if you are in the area, you must assist immediately. There always are a different number of caregivers on the floor who are ready to assist any type of help that the patient is in need of. Maggie believes that if cultural competence is not one of your main focuses as a nurse, then nursing should not be the profession you should be going into. Cultural competence is highly needed if you want to understand your patients and if you want your patients to understand you. She said, "No one you encounter will come from the same background as you. Understanding where a patient comes from and why they feel or think the way they do is important." At the beginning of her career, about 3 months into working at St. Luke's, that was when she acknowledged the importance of being culturally competent. There was a patient of Hispanic descent just like her. So, Maggie assumed because they both came from the same background that they were going to have an easy time understanding each other. In Maggie's culture, family is a very important factor and family comes first, which is what she assumed from the patient that she was caring for. The family of the patient was very supportive and always there in the room with the patient, which is what she expected. The patient's mother did not make it to visit one of the days that the patient had to have an emergency procedure done. Before the patient was taken away, she asked him if he wanted her to call and inform his mother of what was going to be happening. He said yes, and she called her right away. On the phone, the mother seemed very worried and hurried to the hospital. When the patient was back in the room, both him and his mother were very grateful with the nurse because of the phone call. The nurse used her knowledge of the culture of the patient to make the decision of the phone call. Family was a very important factor of the patient, and the nurse understood that. Her definition of culture of the health profession was that the world is increasingly getting smaller and encountering different cultures is more than normal. And it is very important to get to know different types of people in order to provide good quality care. Maggie stated that cultural differences can definitely affect patient assessment and patient outcomes, which is why it is important to respect other people's ways of thinking, even if you don't agree with them yourself. Overall, Maggie taught me how much hard work needs to be put in order to be a nurse, especially if you are a nurse in an intensive care unit. And also, she taught me how showing respect towards others' beliefs or actions is key in providing good quality care to the patient.